Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing
Basketball. Here's our hosts, Steve Collins. And Bill Flitter.
Coaches, welcome to another episode of Coaching Youth Hoops. I'm your coach, your host and coach, Bill Flitter. Today, we are joined by Coach Jacob Hanan. And he is going to share with us his experience with the Blitz. He's got lots of questions for us. Jacob is a coach in Seattle at the SHA Stars of David. Is that correct? Did I get that right?
Yep. Seattle Hebrew Academy Stars of David. Yep.
Okay.
That is the program. And thank you for having me, Coach Bill. I'm really honored to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you just tell us a little bit about who you are, your coaching career, and the team that your season's done, right? So
we just finished up.
Yeah, awesome.
So my name is Jacob Hanan. I've been a head coach for about 13 years, and started off at the Jewish Day School. It's a small middle school in Bellevue, Washington, which is just east of Seattle. Had an incredible 6 years there, just kind of building the program from the bottom up. They were kind of at a dark space when I had entered, and we had to revamp the culture really quickly. Fast forward a few years later, there was an opportunity to come over to the Seattle Hebrew Academy, which is where I went to school. I'm an alumnus of the school, and I'm really honored to be coaching at my school because I actually replaced my coach at the school who had been there for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Crazy.
That was a really special thing. And actually, at my last job, I actually coached against him for a few games, which was really fun. Coach A. So, but yeah, we're a small school. We have lower school and middle school basketball programs. And when I say small, we have about 130 students, K through 8. We average about 14, 15 in a class. We're both a general studies. We have dual curriculum, so we have Judaic studies from the religious standpoint and general studies as well. And the kids come after school from 3:30 to 5:15, starting in mid-October. We share a gym with the high school here. We have a high school that rents our gym. They're off-site, but they come and use it after us. And we're a small school. Most of our kids go to that high school. And, most of the teams in our league are a lot bigger than us. We've battled some schools with 300, 400, 500 kids, and it's always a fun challenge. And we always embrace it. And it's a fun league to play in. It's the Cascade Middle School League here in Seattle. And, it's been great. And I've been here for 2 years. This is my second season and my first season using the Blitz. We can kind of go into that a bit now if you want. But that's kind of my background. And that's what SHA basketball is. And that's who we are.
That's amazing though. 15 kids per class. That is tiny. So you definitely have a challenge. How many kids typically come out for basketball, and how many grades do you have?
Sure.
To play?
We do 2 teams. We do a 5-6 mainly team, and there are a couple beginner 7th grade players that will play on the JV kind of level. And we have a
Yeah.
varsity level, which is our eighth graders, our strong seventh graders. And once in a while, if you get like a really talented sixth grader,
They
they
go
might,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had one sixth grader go up this year for a half because we were low on bodies, and I got him a little experience this year. But other than that, it's pretty rare. And we practice. I mean, my philosophy as a coach is, I want my kids to be built for life,
Yeah.
um, high integrity and high character, kind of along the lines of Coach Chris Peterson from Boise and UW. I'm a big fan of his, believer in his philosophy, and I try to run my teams kind of similar to him. Um, but we practice a lot. We do a lot more than I would say a lot of the other teams in our leagues do. It's always been that way at our school. We're always 3-4 days a week. We do not practice or play on Fridays or Saturdays because of the Sabbath, which is
Mm-hmm.
important in the Jewish faith. And
Yep.
on Sundays, we have a lot of clinics, which are optional. Players don't technically have to go to them. I encourage them. We do get a lot of people that come out. But this year, we had about 25 kids in total come out between the two teams, which is a lot. It was definitely a challenge and a lot of fun, too. So that's kind of where we were this year.
Yeah. Wow. And how many total kids play basketball in the school?
25 on the boys and 13 on the girls. And then we're going to do lower school teams. I try to do like a 4-5 and a 2-3. But the
Mm-hmm.
issue we found is in our league, there's just not a lot of teams to play. So I'm reaching out to other schools and other organizations,
Yeah.
try to set up some games for them. It's very introductory. But yeah, that's just kind of our school. So in total, we probably have on the boys side from second grade to eighth grade. I'm just counting in my head here, probably around 40 to 42 players or so. That's my guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good for you. That's awesome. And in a small school like that, that's pretty impressive. And just in the idea of building a program starting with the younger kids, so by the time they get to you, right, they're going to be ready to go. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah, well, good for you. I appreciate that. Appreciate you doing what you're doing for the kids. And I think one of the things that we're missing, we need to see more of is the true meaning of sports and why we should be coaching, right? It is the life lessons that sports teaches us, and as coaches we need to draw that correlation and help them through challenges and whatever sports brings their way, and the good times, the bad times, and so the ups and downs. So let's dive into your questions. I know you had a few questions, starting with the blitz versus a zone. Maybe you can just shed some light on there what you struggled with this year. And by the way, what was your record? Because I know you did pretty good.
We started off 7-2, and
Mm-hmm.
we had a big injury. It was unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
My top guy, who was averaging like I think around 19 to 20 a game and 10 boards, he was just tearing it up. He got hurt. He was out for our last month of the season. So we finished 9-5. Our league doesn't have playoffs yet. It's something they're kind of working on.
Mm.
So I think we finished like fourth or fifth out of like maybe 16, 15, 16 teams, something like
Yeah.
that. Um, the blitz transformed our offense, especially against man-to-man. I was looking for something different this year, just to give the audience and you a little background. I was looking for something a little different this year, especially for man. Our man-to-man offense, we had a very talented team last year. We went 15-3. We played more games because we had a few canceled this year because of a rainstorm and the winds. But anyway, last year there were times against man-to-man where we really struggled. We get really stagnant. I ran out the classic 1-4, the UCLA cut, and then the
Yeah.
screen roll
Yeah.
outside,
Mm-hmm.
the 4 out, 1 in. And if teams would lock up my best guy, there wasn't like a good counter for that. That's
Mm.
kind of the struggle
Yeah.
I faced. So I was looking in there. I spent tons of hours looking at different things. Like, what can I do that both is super effective, that is also simple to teach, that has a lot of different options, but also just has the main simple idea from the beginning, the simple concept of the drive, down screen, seal, and then the handoff around. We ran it, and teams had so much trouble with it, especially early on in games. They would then go to zone, or they would switch up or double our ball handler, put in a trap or whatever, and it would just open up just these wide open layup opportunities for our guys. I love to get my playmakers the ball in space, like any coach would want
Yeah.
to do. And not the zoom, the zoom or the blitz rather. We call it regular, but the blitz action is just so effective in getting your playmakers the ball in space. And as a result, I mean, we would, on teams we would struggle, we'd average maybe 35, 40 points a game. Now we're averaging like 55. We hit some 60-point games, and we run short games, 2 20-minute halves with a running clock. Very few stoppages. So we play shorter games, and we saw a good 15-20% increase, especially in most games we played, of just able to get our play ball to our playmakers in space. It's that simple. I think where we run into issues was against zone, and I'd love to learn more about that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that feedback too, and that's exactly right. I mean, that's what the Blitz does. It opens up those huge gaps, and it gives a place for everyone on the team, no matter their talent level, to do something. Your playmakers are going to probably make more of the plays, but the ball handoffs and just the circle motion of that, and just creates those huge gaps. And like you said, it's hard for teams to keep up. But yeah, against a zone, so no shot clock, right?
No shot clock. Yep.
Okay, good. Just want to make that clear. I know. So you ran into 1-3-1, 3-2, and 2-3.
Yeah, we saw all kinds of zones this year.
Okay.
Teams would switch as soon as we gash them a few times, would blitz them to death, and they switch to
switch the zone. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And we'll start there. Let's start with the 1-3-1. Is it a kind of a trapping 1-3-1?
They like to trap that top guard. And that's the other thing too with our program is we're small. Every year we're small, and we love to play fast. And press and do all those fun things. But once we get into the half court, definitely our weakness as a program is like, okay, we're a smaller team. We run the blitz. We love to attack off the screen and the dribble. It's like, okay, how can we spread out the zone and then be able to attack still? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm assuming the 1 is coming high above the arc, and then the 3 are across the top of the free throw line extended. And then you got the 1 sitting in the middle. Or even, sometimes a little higher. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the 1-3-1 using the blitz is slightly different. But what we typically do, especially at the grade school level, is I have this concept we call it hot potato. And what happens is, if you can imagine, you have against a 1-3-1, because it's an odd front, then you want to have an even, right, with your players. So we stick 2 up very high. I don't know if I have a picture of this. I'll have to look. While I talk, I'll look at my playbook if I have it, and we can show it.
So it sounds like a blitz out of a slightly different formation.
It does. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, here I do have it. I could show it. It does have a slightly different formation. And it's in the it's called volley. I guess, or my team calls it hot potato, but it's volley. Let me show my screen so you can see this. I'm going to hear coaches say, well, this is not basketball, and but the whole idea is somebody's going to sit in a zone. Let's see, where is it here? 1-3-1. There we go. Somebody's going to sit in a zone with me on at the grade school level, knowing that they can't shoot at a high percentage, right? For the most part, what we do is, if you look at here, we're just throwing the ball back and forth. As soon as X1 commits, we throw it back. If X2 comes up and tries to trap that, 3 is going to be open. We set some screens and everything else. But point is, what's that?
I was like, why is that not basketball? College teams do that against the 1-3-1.
Yeah, and all we're doing is, well, because I've heard that before. I get some parents mad from the other teams, and then, so do I care? I don't care. No. So what we're trying to do is actually we are trying to pull those 2 out, because there's no coach in the country that is patient enough when you don't have a shot clock to see these 2 players go back and forth with the ball. So they're going back and forth in the ball, and then we're waiting to hear the coach from the other team yell, go get the ball, or go trap the ball, right? So at that point, their defense is going to be in a scramble, and that's when we strike. As soon as we hear that trap or see the trap coming, the opposite person cuts. You can see in this picture, right? They're coming there with the trap. Boom, get the ball right there. Then we drop, and then you have first you start off the one-on-one, then you have options for 3 and 5 down low, right? So I like one-on-one situation. That person just attacks, right? Tries to draw this. Do I have that on the next slide? Tries to draw. This is just another version of it. Tries to draw this middle person in. 3 can space, right? Or they can collapse too, depending what type of player they are. 4 commits over, and then you got 5 wide open. 4 can drop as well, right? So it gives you, it's not the true blitz, but it gives you some options to quickly get out of that and get layups off of their zone, right?
And when five comes up to take away 2, then you just try to get it to 3 real quick on the corner, or
yeah, exactly, because four has to cover 2 people, right? So if 3 pops out and drags 4 with them, then 5 is going to come down there, right? You should have really quickly a mismatch, right? But yeah, obviously if you sit there and don't do anything, then everybody's just going to reset. So you got to be really quick about it. But yeah, having this 3 drop and getting the ball to them, and then again, depending what type of, are they a 3-point shooter? Then you'd want to move them out to kick the ball. X4 commits, then you have 5 that's going to be open. It's a real quick hitter to get a score. And you can see here too what happens. So 2's dribbling in, right? X5 now is the defender. Now look, right? You got to make some choices, right? Yep. So X4 has got to come and help. That's going to leave 3 open, even if X4 goes there. On 3, right? You're going to have 5 open. X5, the whole zone is basically collapsed. Yes, and then just a couple times, 4 can come in, sneak in there, got a pass, right? Yeah. Our girls do that a lot. Well, they just come dump in the middle, and again, this is really quick, right? It's boom, 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 and you got it. So you got your 1 out there for the to space. You got 3 kind of in the short corner, 5 on the weak side block. And again, you're just attacking that zone, and it breaks down pretty quickly. Once you get this going and get this person running back and forth, you're going to pull up another person right away, right? You're going to pull up X2 here or even here. So you should have a nice mismatch, right? If they're trying to trap that.
Into the middle there with that guard coming across the 2.
Say that one more time.
Oh, I'm just saying it, like you said, like the key then would be just to get that ball quickly to 2. Once that guard comes up in the middle. That's there, right. Yeah, right away. You fake up, go down, or fake one way, go the other way, and bounce pass or whatever.
Something, exactly. Yeah. We don't hold the ball. Obviously, when we see that commit, we get it right to 2 and they attack. So.
And if they run it higher up, you would just kind of slide it up a little higher, right?
Yeah, you just go up a little higher. Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. And, if it is higher, even better because it leaves this whole back side exposed. And I started doing this because I never had great shooters from the outside. I may have one, right? That's decent. And then, from there, it just kind of drops. So I need to get layups, right? Or short jump shots. Yeah. And that's why we just did, because I would literally, Coach, I was racking my brain coming up with every zone attack, right? Well, you know how long that takes to coach it. Yeah. So I literally came up with this on the fly in a game. We were just getting killed by a team that was trapping up on the top, and they packed. I think it was a 1-3-1. Yeah, it was a 1-3-1, and we were just getting killed, and we couldn't score. And it's okay, girls, just pass back and forth. There's no shot clock, so just pass back and forth until the coach starts yelling to go get the ball, and then then slip, and you're going to have you're going to have a mismatch. I mean, you're going to outnumber. It's going to be a 3 versus 2 situation. Oh, anyway, and then we kind of perfected it over time on what does everybody else do, right? We always want to overload one side. But this is in your Blitz playbook too, so it's there now. Yeah. And then let's skip. Well, we can go to a 1-2. Doesn't change much. We still are doing volley going back and forth on this, right? One of these guys usually commits, even if this was higher, sometimes you see X3 in this case, and X2 sitting right here at the 3-point line. But it works the same. Now, this is kind of more true to the Blitz situation where you can see we still set those down screens versus a 1-2-2, right?
Yep.
So we have down screen right there. Okay. And then, 2 should have a shot or a drive in. And you can see here, if they can then commit, 1 is going there. Do I have one more? Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. See that? Then you're going to have a dump. That's what usually happens right there.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of, again, another quick, movement of the ball to attack the middle. And we want
Love how downhill everything is.
Yeah, it's always,
usually against the zone offense, with a typical zone offense, it's a lot of like, okay, we got to get the ball from this side to the other, and we're trying to go high, low, or whatever, and they may take that away. If they're a bigger team, this is like, okay, we're going to get the ball in the middle of the zone by passing quickly and then getting downhill, which I really like.
Yeah, attack and kick if you have, and if it's not there, you just do it again. Come up top, pull it up, reverse it. But we like setting those down screens on a 1-2-2 because now and then you down screen and you can open up towards the ball, right? And that defender is now behind you. And then in that particular case, you seal, and then three can dip right there for a little shot as well, seal their player, and they're going to have an inside look. Could have an inside look there too. So little variations of that. If you have a shooter, great, right? You can see here you can pull out one. It's not like X1 isn't going to chase them, but
even if they chase them, you got them going one way, they can pump fake and go by or whatever. That's right.
That's it's a tough closeout. Yeah, exactly. So just a couple, just simple, easy things to, try. We actually, because I still remember this game. We were playing this high school team when we were in 8th grade, and they were running. Don't ask me why they were in our tournament. I have no idea. Who knows? Either they weren't telling the truth of who they were or whatever. I don't know what it was. But anyway, we were playing them. They ran a 1-2-2, a very aggressive trapping 1-2-2, and I drew up hot potato for the girls again, and we were able to stick with them. We ended up losing in double overtime by 1 point. And I've never seen girls happier or a team happier after losing in double overtime because they knew they were outmatched the entire game. We were down 15 at one point and then clawed back against the 1-2-2 just by simply attacking and moving the ball like this. And they didn't have an answer. They didn't have an answer for it. Sometimes, depending on if you look at the 1-2-2 configuration, depending on how aggressive these two are, right? Yeah. We will just run the traditional blitz. So ball handoffs, down screens on X5 and X4, right? Come up, ball handoff, that type of thing. I'll also, again, this kind of traditional. You can put 5 in the middle right here, right? And then distribute the ball. But that works really well if you have shooters, right?
Zone outward,
Yeah, and we typically don't. So I need to get layups off of stuff. So So that's that.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
If your brain is at full capacity with to-dos, birthdays, dinner plans, meet Skylight Calendar. It syncs your entire family's schedule onto a sleek digital display, so you focus on important things, like where you left your coffee. Right now, Skylight is offering our listeners $30 off their 15-inch calendars by going to skylightcal.com/talk. Go to skylightcal.com/talk for $30 off your 15-inch calendar. That's SKYLIGHTCAL.com/talk.